NoFap is easy. And let me explain what I mean by this. Easy in the sense that, like, once it registers, once it makes sense, there's really no reason why you would ever have even the thought of wanting to even entertain the idea of watching pixelated images of other people engaging in acts that you want to engage in. And let me tell you why. So, here's something to consider. It was something that I used to do every day as well. So I'm speaking from experience. This isn't something where I scoured the web and kind of realized what it was. It was something I did. It was something I engaged in. It was something that I was ashamed of, disgusted by. I did it every single day, and it was something I wanted to change because I was like, look, this isn't giving me the outcomes that I needed, right? Which was like engaging in the real world, right? And so what happened was I came across like the whole stuff about NoFap and stuff, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. How hard could it be, right? I did it, right? And it's really simple. This is what needs to register, is that you tell yourself, this is what I told myself, right? I told myself, all right, this is never gonna happen again, right? I'm never gonna have the opportunity to ever do that again, right? I'm never gonna fap again. I'm never gonna watch, you know what, again. I told myself that was never going to be an option ever again, right? So that was the first part of it, right? I knew that that was going to be the way to stay away from it. And after that, the second part was that I told myself the only way I was ever going to be able to come ever again was to actually do this in real life, right? To actually have intercourse with someone, right? To actually engage with someone in the real world, right? That was the only option I had. So what did that mean, right? It required me to go outside. It required me to be in the world, right? To be experiencing things, right? And running into people. That was the way to do it. That was the only way, essentially. So I gave myself the only outcome that I could, right? Which was that I need to go experience things. And sure enough, that it forced me, right? I had no choice, right? So the first part is you got to realize you need to force yourself. That is the way to do it, right? Is you give yourself no other option but that. If you really want that, all right, well, go and get it, right? Put a little bit of energy into it, right? Burn a little bit of calories in the process, right? And it was really that simple. And after that, I never looked back. I never had to, because then I realized, like, I didn't have to anymore. It was all in me. It was a choice I made, right? And everything became easy after that, right? Because the thing was, I wasn't so lustful anymore, right? Because I didn't have those images in my mind anymore. So now I could just talk to a woman and not really feel like that was part of the goal. So indirectly, it just made me more attractive. And I think a lot of people could speak to this idea that as soon as you start sort of seeing women just as women, as opposed to like bodies or something that you're trying to get something out of, it makes it a lot easier to get what you're looking for. And so that was the irony of it, right? Was that, like, it became almost effortless at that point, right? Because it was almost like they wanted something from me that I had the discipline and to be able to abstain from. And so, like I said, I never looked back after that, and I can't understand why that could be an issue, right? If you force yourself to have these rules, right? And then at that point, you realize, like, if you have other things that you're chasing, other pursuits, other passions, it should be easy to stop. You have to stop and think to yourself, what is it that I'm doing that I'm consumed by this, right? Well, if you don't have other pursuits, it's really hard. It's really hard to say, I have something that's going to distract me from this vice, right? Because you get nothing out of it, right? So go outside, experience the world, and you'll find what you're looking for. And like I said, look, I still have friends that have to deal with this, right? That have trouble stopping. And I'm just like, I just don't get it. Because the reality is, if you don't give yourself that hard line, right? Which is that I have to go outside. I have to engage in real world interactions. That's the only way I'm going to be able to get it, right? And lo and behold, you'll get what you're looking for. And yeah, it's really hard to get back to. I can't even imagine wanting to even scour the web. Like, the idea doesn't even register in my mind anymore. It's so far removed. The other thing too, though, that I did that maybe you got to do as well is you gotta make sure that the algorithm is not force feeding you that stuff. You gotta not like any pictures of girls. The reality is, like, if you're looking for pretty girls online, unless you're actually gonna meet them in person, don't entertain the idea. If you got girls in Latin America and Colombia and Brazil that you're liking their pictures, unless you're gonna travel over there, unless you have a passport, don't even bother. Don't entertain it. So that's part of it as well. Is making sure that that is cleansed as well. So that, because then that's almost like a gateway to, oh, okay, I need something a little bit more stimulating, right? Knock that off. Stop it right away. You have to be disciplined. And then the next level of it would be lowering your gaze. If you really want to take it to another level, you don't even look at women that you don't have the intentions of doing anything with, right? Or being with in a relationship or in any capacity, right? You just don't entertain it, right? And that's the type of discipline that I don't know if some of you are ready for. Because I used to be the type that be like, I want to look at everything and anything, right? Even if it was something I didn't want to look at. Now I have the discipline to be like, look, I'm not going to look at anyone that I don't want to entertain at all because there's just no point. And that's made it a lot easier as well. But yeah, like I said, guys, NoFap is easy. Don't make it complicated. Find some pursuits. Go outside. It shouldn't be that difficult, right? Don't do this countdown stuff. I think it defeats the purpose, right? Because at the end of the day, if it's a forever thing, then you shouldn't have to worry about how many days you've been doing it. It's just something that you just do. And it's really that simple. You take it as part of yourself, and it's the end of the story. I mean, there's nothing more to do about it. You just move on. You don't make it part of your identity. I think it's pretty corny. I think it defeats the purpose. I think it's something that you get. It makes sense to you. All right, boom. Then that's it. You move on. That becomes a tool. It doesn't become the object of desire, right? To just be this identitarian. So get it, absorb it, manifest it, and then move forward with whatever other things that you got going on. And if you don't have anything, then find something, right? Because you're gonna have the